Ladies and gentlemen, see, we've been covering, well, obviously this whole case, and UMG finally responded to Drake's appeal. You know what I mean? This is probably the most important case of hip hop being taken to court right now, outside of the Afroman thing. Shout out to Afroman for winning. But apparently, now that Drake's back outside, appeals is back outside, UMG's responding. Charlamagne the God. They telling me he went nuclear earth. He went scorched earth on Labrie Graham. So let's see, man. You back outside. Shout out to Chick Smooth. You know what I mean? My Nigerian brother. Keep it going.
You know what to do, Chick. I find him. You know what? I like Chick Smooth. Chick Smooth is
if you don't know, the person, hold on.
Is somebody I really enjoy listening to on YouTube because Chick just got an intellectual curiosity about.
Now, the person who found Chiggs' intellectual curiosity, that's Charlemagne talking too. So let's see what that is. Shout out to Chiggs.
Hey, man, when battle rapping goes too far between two artists.
And if you don't know, they've had problems for a long time. But I think they telling me Charlemagne was dropping bars. Let's go.
Who do we blame? The fans, the stands, or the artists themselves? Now, last week we saw Jay-Z come out to make a statement that has everybody going crazy about it. Jay said, yo, after the Drake and Kendrick battle, I'm not so sure if we need to keep battle rapping anymore.
And like I reacted to that too. Go check that out. Like I said, Jay is he's probably my favorite rapper ever outside of Kendrick. Kendrick and Jay-Z are probably my favorite rappers ever. And I love Jay. You know, I could even say I feel like certain songs helped raise me at certain points. But I couldn't disagree more with what he said. And that's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And that's a very head-ass statement to make. Still love him though, but super disagree. And to all the people who were saying, well, J. Cole and Jay-Z were saying the same thing. No. J. Cole came on the interview and said, I didn't see any of this happening. Even important Antonio said he did. He just keeps going back and forth. So basically, Jay-Z's saying that what happened, where the stands took it at the aftermath, when it started getting beyond just the battle, that was the problem. The battle was cool, everything after. Cole is saying the battle in general. So that's the difference. I just wanted to point that out for people saying Jay-Z. No, they weren't saying the same thing. But
only because the stands on both sides took it way too far.
And I love the sparring and the music you get. But in this day and age, it's so much negative stuff that comes with it. They almost wish it didn't happen. People that like Kendrick hate Drake. I don't know if I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's helpful to our growth. It's too far.
And that's another thing where Jay, this isn't even the first time he's had this type of sentiment. You know what I mean? His interview with Elliot Wilson and I think B-Dot, he said the same thing about, what was it, Jada or Beanie or something like that. He said it like that. But like I say, this is a part of hip-hop. It's always been a part of hip-hop. Jay has been alive for the two. You got to also understand Jay was alive for West Coast versus East Coast. So I think all the rappers or all the people who are really outside for that and lost people still have trauma. I think they still have trauma because they see where it can go. But like, yeah. It's
like bringing kids in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like that. You know, maybe I've grown in a space that is probably, I sound like the old guy Wagner.
As he gets older, that's what he says too. Oh, by the way, got to point this out so I don't have to bring back the bonnet. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, a lot of y'all were actually enjoying the bonnet. So let me just put it back off for just this segment. All right, bonnet screw here. Got to keep the locks, healthy. Bonnet screw here. Statistics show that only about 20% of the people watching this video are subscribed. I don't say this enough. A lot of YouTubers have noticed that saying this actually helps a lot because a lot of people will watch and just forget to hit the subscribe button. I've had people who subscribe to me after I said this, be like, bro, I've been watching you for years and just assumed I was subscribed, but I just kept coming back. You know what I mean? So you don't start losing this out the algorithm. If you're subscribed, you'll see it. You got to keep coming. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and drop a comment. Yeah, let's get this video to 6,000 thumbs up. I'd like to have a little like goal. That really helps the video. If you want to help this channel, help this video, subscribe, drop a comment, hit thumbs up. Okay, now we back. Chiggs, what happened?
I think we can achieve the same thing as far as like sparring with music, with collaborations more so. It could stand it before because There was no social media. You know, you had the battle and it was fun and then you moved on. Yeah. It was like trying to tear down the people's life, wreck this guy's marriage or this guy's relationship with his child. And it's like, I don't know if it's worth it at this point. I love the idea that we got so much music in such a short period of time.
Great music.
I don't know if battling needs to be part of the culture anymore.
Now,
and even if I agree with a lot of the stuff he was saying before of where it went, and I could see where he's coming from, I don't know about agree. I absolutely vehemently, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, vehemently disagree with that statement and where his final thought. It's like, wait, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
A lot of people actually came out and spoke out against the statements from Jay-Z. This was actually one of the first times in recent memory, or probably ever, that I've seen a lot of Jay-Z fans come out and disagree with him. And that right there
But that's what lets you know that that's a healthy fan base. That's what lets you see how everybody thought, you go read the comments in my video, people are like, oh my God, I'm so glad you kept it solid. I'm so glad you kept it consistent. It's like, bro, just because Jay-Z is an important person in my life, just because of the art he gives me, no matter how much he's entertained me, if he says something I don't agree with, I just don't agree with it. There's people that I'm way closer to and I love and I would fight or kill for. And when they say some dumb shit, I will be like, no, shut your dumb ass up.
me know that Jay-Z was on some bullshit. Now, like I told you guys in the last videos, you cannot control the stance on either side. They're always going to be there. A lot of these fans look up to these artists. So, of course, they're going to embody the personality of the artist.
That's a fact.
And quite frankly, a lot of these stans are very parasocial. These guys think they're best friends with the artists they fuck with. And we see this kind of stan behavior between artist fans every single day on social media.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You know, how often, ask yourself, are you communicating with somebody or are you seeing posts from accounts that you wouldn't be able to recognize the person in public? Like the account is just the face of an artist or something to do with an artist. The banner is something to do with an artist and everything. That to me is like, what, bro? And some people be like, oh, well, this is just my burner account. Yeah, just because you have a mentally ill burner account doesn't make it any better. That's like having one burner account where you're a complete, you know what I mean? And then you're just like, no, I'm actually normal. No, that makes you weirder in real life.
Nicki Minaj fans and Cardi B fans have been engaging in war for damn near 10 years now. The way some of these fans are able to dig up dirt, old pictures, old documents about the other artists, some of these guys should actually be working for the CIA. There's already fire between the two fan bases, and that fire gets enraged every single time Nicki and Cardi B go at each other on social media. And that same logic still applies, especially towards this Drake and Kendrick battle. Even though we're now 2 years removed from the battle in 2024, because we see Drake still taking shots at Kendrick, TDE, and anybody else that went against him, we're still seeing crazy stan behavior to this day.
That's another thing I would like to speak on. I think too often do we talk about the media and the culture and the fans dragging things on and keeping going. Nobody really wants to engage in the fact that these artists are keeping this conversation alive. J. Cole is quite literally on a tour, on a podcast tour, talking about this. Every single interview he's done has been exactly the same interview, talking about this. Jay-Z came out talking about this. So they're keeping it going. So I hate the gaslighting of people keeping it going for the clicks, because that's why you're talking about it. That's why you can tell the interviewer, I don't want to talk about it. That's why you're dropping this. That's why you're doing it. And then turning around and blaming the people who are engaging with it. Like, what? Stop talking about it then.
Now, this week on Charlamagne and Schultz's podcast, The Brilliant Idiots, Charlamagne responded to Jay-Z's comments about battle rapping going too far, and he actually blamed Drake for it. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I think he's got a point. Here's what he said.
But you know what Jay-Z said? He's like, it turned fans, it's like, oh, if you're a...
It's amazing to watch. Longevity is great.
Amen.
When you have been long,
because it's hard.
Respect consistency and long.
It's hard.
He said, when you've been long, I caught that. No freaky. I heard that. That was a slip, but I caught it.
Do you feel, this might transition us, but do you feel because of the battle between Jake and Kendrick,
who is Jake?
I'm sorry, Drake and Kendrick, that it's going to mess up their longevity?
No,
Why?
not Kendrick.
I was like, why would it mess?
Well, I mean, like, you
Not
know,
Drake either, man.
no, but you
Listen,
know what Jay
Bruh. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess every year there's a bunch of new people who just spawn into hip hop and act like they've been there the whole time. I keep asking people, whose career was ended by just a battle? The closest niggas can ever try is Ja Rule. That's what they try. Every time I bring that up, I say that. And when you say that, it lets me know you don't really know what happened in that Ja Rule story. Was it just the 50 Cent diss, or was it also Eminem? Was an entire label going at him, or was it one diss battle that ended him? Was it a Rico, or was it just one battle? Was it the person that basically funded their label going to jail and not being able to even be insinuated with them anymore? Or was it a battle? Like, y'all don't be, some of you people just be saying things and don't know the back. It wasn't, Ja Rule's career and trajectory didn't go down just because of 50 Cent. He was a cog in it, but it was a bunch of stuff that happened to him that went down. If it was just 50 Cent dissing Ja Rule would have survived just like Jay-Z survived Ether. Ether's in the dictionary, bro. Come on, my guy.
he said, he's like, it turned fans. It's like, oh, if you're a fan of one now, you have to hate the other.
I don't even believe
No.
My
that.
bad. Another one that people bring up is cannabis, and I go like, oh yeah. Y'all definitely just be making stuff up. Cannabis career barely didn't start, bro. I mean, what career was ended as in they were a certain level of prosperous. They were big. They were selling. They were big artists. And then after a battle, it all ended. No, nigga. Cannabis was basically an up-and-coming rapper who bit off more than he could chew. And LL Young. And there's a lot of people who said Cannabis won that with second round.
It's real. And, you know, that I didn't agree with Jay's take. I respected the take, and I understand where the take is coming from. But that's also a 56-year-old man's perspective. Can you pull that up? Pull that up,
You're
Taylor.
just talking about Kendrick?
Yeah, pull that up so it's fresh in my mind. Have you seen this take yet, Andrew?
And I know the internet's not real, but it did seem like online, it's like, hey, you got to pick a side.
So that's life. Why do we act like
Dog, we've gotten so soft. I've said this. I'm like, in what situation do we not pick a side? And why are y'all so afraid to pick a side all of a sudden? Why all of a sudden? You know when you go to a sports event, you pick the side, right? Don't nobody come to a sport event and cheer for both sides unless you're a lame, right? You know, if Xbox, PlayStation, you pick the side. You know, there's so many trivial little things that picking a side, I think, into people's heads now because people are just afraid of any type of confrontation. They're just, oh no, picking a side might mean that I might have to defend that side. Oh no! So? Nigga make you pick a side, you went, oh my God. Hip hop is over, I had to pick a side.
that's
No,
not
but
life?
that's what I said.
When somebody asks you what's your favorite thing, right? Now, there's a difference between saying I like Nike over Adidas, but there's plenty of people who pick a side, and there's not a problem with that, bro. It's about what you do when you pick a side.
I think I'm just looking at my kids' generation, so people, you know, in their late teens, early 20s now, Drake's undoubtedly the biggest artist of their generation.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's going to happen in any way is going to ultimately change how they
It's the 1A, 1B, guys. Like, stop. Kendrick
And
is
it's
pretty
not-
big, bro. Kendrick got a Pulitzer
Not-
Prize.
Why you
Not-
think I
Y'all got to stop.
Yo, my kids' lunchroom, they would all start singing God's Plan together or whatever, you know, like.
That's a stupid litmus test because my nieces, their entire school, word for word, no, not like us. And I would say, yeah.
It was
haven't
that-
tapped into the youth lately, but yeah, nigga. No,
It's a Catholic
But
school.
exactly.
Catholic school.
Kids
New York City
go
public
off.
school. New York City public school. No fucking Catholic school.
Why wouldn't a bunch of Jewish kids sing God's Plan?
Now
What
it's
are
a
we
Jewish
talking
Catholic
about?
school. So yarmulkes and plaid skirts. I want to go to this school. I got to check it out.
Well,
But
maybe
just because kids are
maybe LA is like that for Kendrick.
The world is like that for Kendrick.
Yeah.
Why do y'all act? Listen, there was a time where Kendrick Lamar had the highest grossing tour of a solo rapper ever. And that was the Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper tour.
Right.
And I think this new tour that he just went on with SZA, even though it was
they
him and SZA,
broke the record.
that broke the record. But before that, it was just him.
Right.
Why do we act like Kendrick ain't
Just because
one of them
y'all don't listen to
guys.
Kendrick doesn't mean that he's not popping.
He got a Pulitzer Prize, Chris.
It's because some people transgenderly, I say this a lot too, a lot of Drake fans, I would say the stands wise, right? For all stands, not just Drake stands. But I've seen this a lot now that Drake stands, a lot of them or some of them are not fans of hip hop at all. So they wouldn't know what Kendrick's actually doing because they don't listen to hip hop. They just listen to Drake.
Then records.
Yeah.
You know, Tupac, God bless the dead, definitely went to hell on Biggie. He starts the song off saying, "That's why I fucked you, you fat motherfucker."
Yeah.
That was his his wife, his mother, of his
But there
children.
wasn't the same reaction channel. There wasn't the same like reaction channel and like clipping economy that adds so much, gas to the flame.
But time out.
Yes, there was, bro. Now, social media wasn't the same, but it's Andrew's show, so he don't know, brother. When Nas and Jay happened, brother, I still remember. I'm young. I was young, and I still remember the conversations. I still remember the news. I still remember, like, what are we talking about, bro? Everybody had to start. You heard Foxy with the, you know what that line really about? Come on, bro. Like, it was
You're
just
right.
neighborhood
But
social.
the Kendrick Drake battle is very unique. Kendrick and Drake battle would have probably been over a long time ago if somebody knew how to take an L. If Aubrey Graham just simply knew how to take an L and didn't do things like sue the record label.
No, I think the damage was done before that.
No,
Damage
he
was
made it
Making
worse.
following, yeah.
He sued. I sat here on this podcast, told y'all he was going to sue in jest, sarcasm, sort of, kind of. When I'm right, it's not sarcasm. But so in jest, right? And he actually did. That is what made it worse. All of the things
That's what, like, people keep not realizing this is a giant epic battle, but that lawsuit's what changed it. That's what switched me. Like you said, go back and watch my stuff. I was cool with Drake up until then. That's when you start, whoa. You set a precedent now that I've never seen before. Like, no,
have been happening after the fact. All of the Drake fan pages who still can't get over the fact that he just lost the rap battle. So they're constantly digging up stuff, constantly trying to find stuff, constantly trying to, rewrite history just because your guy lost a rap battle. Drake kept this going in a way that we've never seen before. None of us, we've never seen somebody sue after losing a rap battle.
Right.
That's what makes this seem nastier than what it is. Like, we've seen people get called wild things in rap battles before. Like we've seen people say,
especially someone like, if you actually watch like URL, RBE, like, this is a lie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why a lot of the reactions, I look at people like, oh, y'all super soft. Oh, y'all Charlamagne out here.
I fucked your baby mom and this person fucked your wife. And we've seen all of that before.
That's right,
We've
too.
never seen nobody sue.
That's true.
Drake made it worse. Drake and Kendrick battle is not only the greatest rap battle of all time, it's the most unique rap battle of all time. We never saw anything like this. We never saw somebody like Kendrick. We said, who said it earlier? To the victor go to spoils. You said that, Chris? We've never seen anybody get a victory lap like Kendrick. Grammy Awards for a diss record.
It's gonna keep going, bro. Especially with these Jay-Z interviews, these J. Cole interviews, especially with, and like Jay-Z just did one. Like, J. Cole is quite literally doing a press rollout where every day, every other day, there's a new whole interview he's done. He's done 3 about this, the apology and the battle in the last, week? 3, nigga. Like,
Whole halftime
3
show because he had such a
separate
monster
interviews.
year. Followed up his diss record with an album, GNX, that was critically acclaimed and commercially successful. Go on tour around the world with the biggest R&B artists and fucking perform these records everywhere. Kendrick spiked the football 1 million different times. We never saw anything like this, guys. Like that, and like Jay can't even compare this battle to anything.
Exactly.
There's no comparison for this. And I know we're talking about the tech, and that's the other thing. He didn't acknowledge the artist in this, other than to say, yo, you might like this song, you might like that song. Both of these guys went to hell on each other.
Facts.
You got one guy calling one dude a woman beater and saying that his wife is one of the kids is his best friend, and you got Kendrick saying he's a pedophile. Like, it was nasty, like rap battles are. But it was everything that happened after the battle that made this the most
Charlamagne
unique
chef.
rap battle ever. So you can't say you don't want
I agree with
to see
everything you said.
battles anymore just because of this situation. Because this is never gonna happen again.
No, it's not. I tell,
This is never gonna happen.
You know what's weird is as I covered this battle too, I predicted all of this. I said, first of all, this is we're probably we might not ever see this again, but if we do see this again, we're gonna be old. The people we're gonna be old. It's gonna take because this battle was a 10+ year. This went beyond 10+ years, so it's gonna take another. Unless it starts like right now, unless tomorrow there's another, but there's not because there's not another big three. It was just all the stars aligned so perfectly. And another reason why we may not ever see this is because the more everybody keeps asking, well, who's the new big three? I don't know if we'll see a big three again. I don't know if it's possible because, I don't want to make this video too long. It's already 20 minutes, but it's a super interesting topic. The big three concept, I think, happens, and the reason why we're so confused on when it's going to happen again or why we haven't seen the artist, because in this timeline for Drake, Kendrick, and Cole, we had already known, because Jay passed the thing, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Aftermath passed it, and Jay-Z passed, they all passed and Lil Wayne passed so we knew while Wayne was still cooking, Jay was still cooking, Em and Dre were still cooking, we knew Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole were the next to take the throne. We don't have that equivalent right now. And I think it's not just because hip-hop is in a worse place. I think it's because entertainment is just different. You can say it's good or bad, but I think we need a monoculture to have a decided big three. I think the same way that in Hollywood people say we don't have like the old stars that we used to have, like the Tom Cruises, the Will Smiths, seldom are there actors now that just their name brings you to the movie. It don't even matter about the movie. And I think that's what the big three was for us. I think that's what it was. I think that was what the big three was for us. I think it's just, we're not going to have that anymore because as a culture, we're not as connected. Everything is, the internet has separated anything. And it's not even just stan culture. There's always been stan culture, but stan culture has made it where you can just consume one thing in the entire culture. I do care if you're a stan. That's a mental illness. But I don't care how hard of a fan you are of somebody. When you start getting to the point where you only consume like that person and the person that they deem okay, you're no longer a part of the culture. You're just part of a fan club. You know what I mean? So
I mean, even when not, think about it.
Of course, something like this will happen again. Come on.
I don't.
It'll take time. It'll take time. Now, never say never. Time is gonna keep going. I just think we gonna be at a certain age if this happens again, because it's gonna take another 15, 20 joints, man. It's gonna take another maybe not. When did like 2008? It's gonna take another like 16. The story got to build for 16. You feel me? So like for instance, if Future and Young Thug start beefing like this, back track, it's not gonna hit the same. Like literally, like you gotta be a part of the big. Like I don't know, we'll just never see this again.
No, and I'll tell you, because of the players.
This is an improvement in some ways.
Yeah.
Verb people use when somebody gets washed in the street. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the same thing with Kendrick and motherfucking Drake. I'm sure Drake has been places and heard say, oh, we ho. Like, I'm sure he's gotten that so many times.
Like ethered became, when you know when you transcend is when you become a level of quality, right? Ether is a level of quality. Oh, that nigga just got ethered. Oh, when you say ethered, it means they got cooked to a certain level and it has to be a certain height. I'm starting to hear niggas be like, oh, he went Meet the Grams on him. Oh, this was his Meet the Grams. Oh, he just made the Meet the insert the last name of the person. That's starting to become its own thing. Not like us, specifically Meet the Grams.
Like, I'm sure that shit sticks, just like Twitter fingers stuck to Meek.
Yeah.
So in great rap battles, there's going to be things that stick, but the artists have to learn to move on. If the artists move on, so will the fans. The only reason people haven't moved on in this situation is because of Drake. I'm telling you. If Drake hadn't sued and made this the issue and all,
and Iceman gonna be all about this, so it's not going anywhere soon. So we're gonna keep talking about this.
all that other shit,
Iceman gonna be talking about this
it'd have been
too,
gone.
so.
But Drake wasn't sitting around, talking to his influencer friends and, telling them things, and they get on podcasts and on their screams and talk about it. Like, nothing, it would have been gone already.
But that's the thing. That's what the internet does. There's a place for it.
And the battle is the artists.
But the battle is won on the internet, kind of between the stan communities, not really between the artists.
What if the artist would have already went out? What if Drake would?
That's not true. Stan culture and stans on both sides are always going to campaign for the win. But I'm gonna tell you right now, there's nothing a Kendrick stan and nothing a Drake stan could have done to change the outcome of this. Like, for instance, a Kendrick stan could, for some reason, try to convince people Kendrick lost. It wouldn't matter, right? No matter what they said. And a Drake stan could try to convince the masses that Drake won. It's not going to matter, right? So it's like, it's not won with the stans. It's campaigned by the stans. But the win is going to be cultural no matter what. No matter. There's people who are not logged in to Twitter, don't have Twitter accounts, be like, Drake got cooked, and know that. So
Changed the temperature already. He put out the Party Next Door album, right? What if Iceman might change the temperature? Unless he's still rapping about this shit. We heard snippets from the motherfucker, and he's still throwing shots. Like, let the shit go. If you move on, so will the audience.
Now, the only parts that I do have to disagree with Charlamagne on is that this is not going to be the...
Now, go check out Chiggs' thing. Like I said, and he's about to say it too. When I say I don't think we're going to see this again, I'm saying that the stars, of course, we can see a purple elephant battling a green giraffe a million years from now. But I'm just saying, it's going to take such a crazy alignment of the stars. And y'all gotta realize that this battle wasn't the size of the battle just because of the people battling. You gotta understand, the Meek Mills have a part of this whole thing. The Big Seans have a part of this. The J Electronicas. You gotta know the history of this whole Cold War that we had. The Lupe fiasco. So it's gonna take the Wale's, the J. Cole's. It's gonna take a lot. And I don't think the reason why I don't think we're gonna see it again, the only way I think we'll see it again is with the return of the monoculture. And I don't think, I think after COVID specifically, it was already on its last legs. The monoculture of American culture, of the world culture, was more of a monoculture. But I think COVID was the last kibosh to that. And it's just like, as long as there's the consensus is starting to mean less and less and less, or have less and less people consenting to it, which is crazy. You know what I mean? So we'll see what it is. I 100% agree with Charlamagne in this one. So he was cooking.